Hey guys, how's it going? This is your boy Peter Liu, Real Wheel Deal, and today we're reviewing a very special wheel. You know, I've been waiting a long time to get this wheel in, and I'm really excited it finally arrived. This is my Volk Racing TE37 Saga S2000 spec. What's very special about this is this is a Real Wheel Deal and INVISION Auto exclusive, so this is only exclusive size, made and spec by us. And this one, I'm gonna call it the Illuminati spec, because this is, as far as I know for a TE, this is the all-seeing eye. So stay tuned, I'll tell you guys why this wheel is so important and what makes this TE37 Saga so special and different than the rest for all S2000s. So this is gonna be a dual video. One part's gonna be talking about what's special about this wheel, what sets this apart, so the TE37 Saga S2000 exclusive spec. The second part of the video is something I wanted to address, is how to properly fit wheels on a Honda S2000. I have it marked in the timelines. If you guys are interested only in one part of it, you guys can skip ahead and just check out the sections that are relevant to why you're watching this video. If you're new to the channel, hit subscribe, comment below, turn on your notifications if you wanna see what other wheels we're gonna be reviewing in the future. So first thing we're talking about the wheel, I'm just giving you guys a little bit of background. If you guys saw my Mugen MF10 video, I said I was hunting for a Honda S2000. Luckily since then, I've been able to find one and acquire one. It's the one right behind me right now. If you didn't know, I've always been a long time Honda guy. S2000 is a car I've always loved growing up. Throughout time, I've always been helping people spec out wheels. Finally, I was like, man, you know, we gotta have a wheel out there that really is trying to meet all the needs of what the S2000 market is looking for now. So I finally reached that result. I'm really happy to say I got all of them in here behind me. I got them in 3 colors. And what we ended up getting on was the TE37 Saga. I got it in 17x9.5 plus 47 with a phase 3. And I'll tell you guys exactly why we chose that. So first thing is the TE37 OG. You know, it's been introduced in 1996. It was out for 20 years. It was getting a little bit dated, and not because of strength or anything related to S2000, but it's getting dated in the industry. TE37 Saga, you guys might have seen my video already. I go in depth with that one. It's a little bit of an older video, but I'll put the link below. That video describes why the TE has made an iteration from the OG to the Saga, further introduce strength, further get a lot more rigidity in there, and to meet the needs of modern cars, which are a lot heavier, a lot more horsepower, and also moving a lot more weight. With that in mind, the Saga was one of the wheels that was coming up. Obviously, the S2000 was an older vehicle. OG or the SL would also still suffice. But one thing that the Saga did really differently, all the new faces of the Saga were much more concave than the original TE37 OG. So if you don't know, the S2000 higher offset vehicle, the OG results in kind of like a flatter face, even in the higher width. So we chose the TE37 Saga because the Saga had way better concavity, even at a higher offset. If you're up to date on your Volk news, you know that the TE37 Saga has the S Plus come out, which was a minor revision they did a couple years ago. They added additional strength to that wheel. Chose not to go that route because the S Plus added a little bit more weight at the expense of making the wheel stronger, but the original TE37 Saga had exactly the strength we needed for a vehicle like the S2000. So that leads me to why is this wheel called the Illuminati spec? Because Illuminati, all-seeing eye, triangle. And this wheel encompasses the 3 triangles that I think we're looking for with the S2000. First thing, like I said, good concavity. The TE37 Saga has that, which is very hard to achieve on the S2000. So to get flush on there, you got a pretty flat face. So the Saga first marks that. That's the first part of the triangle. Second part of the triangle, because of the Saga's face design, it has really, really good brake clearance. And that's why I went with the phase 3 instead of phase 4. Sure, the phase 4 would have given it a little bit more concavity, but with the Saga's design, the phase 3 gave me enough concavity that I was happy with for the S2000, but giving me the brake clearance I needed. So one of the big things about the S2000 is the spoon brakes. You see a lot of people, they got the spoon calipers on there. This face clears those spoon calipers, and if it can clear the spoon calipers, that means it can clear the stop techs, it can clear the Brembos, it can clear the AP racings. So we used the spoon brake caliper as a benchmark because that was kind of like the widest caliper we saw on the S2000, and since this fits that, I thought was an improvement that S2000 owners have been pushing for in the last couple of years. A lot of them getting big brake hits, so finding a wheel with that high offset to fit that brake, very, very difficult. So the TE37 Saga achieved that as well. And the last thing that was really hard to achieve is to have it doing its max width. So I got this one 9.5. So you guys have seen some, they do go like 10 wide, but 9.5 is gonna be optimal for having the flushness we needed and the brake caliper clearance. So that flushness and width, that's also the last key. So that's why this wheel, in my opinion, is the Illuminati S2000 wheel. All-seeing eye S2000. All things on a stock body S2000 width that you need encountered, I've taken care of all 3 of those for you guys. Width and flushness, brake clearance, and also concavity. So with those features in mind, you can see we tracked off everything we could for the S2000, and of course, Volk Racing, TE37 iconic design, fully forged wheel, strongest and also lightest available wheel manufacturing method. The last thing we gotta do is make sure that fits with your car, different colors. So the great thing is also having 3 colors. So you're going TE37, gotta have the bronze. This is the new bronze. They have like a bronze almite. Second color I got, matte blue gunmetal. Really unique finish. One you might see on a ZD40, you might see on a TE37 Ultra. And the last one I got, matte black. I chose that one because a lot of track guys, you know, it looks all business. Like I have S2000, they kind of like that bright color, and then they might have like the black wheels, so like a red or a blue or a yellow S2000, looking pretty good with a black wheel. But obviously with all these wheels, we didn't choose any gloss colors. We chose all the matte finishes from Volk because the matte finishes were a little bit lighter and they kind of gave you the sensation that it was a light track performance wheel, which I thought really suited the S2000. So now we're just gonna do a really quick deep dive into the wheels, show you guys some close-ups and some details of it. So first I'm going to show you is the bronze one, and the bronze one on TE37 Saga. See, it's all uniform bronze. It's really good, lightweight. And on the Saga, what you can see here, what you really like, Volk Racing Original. This is AMT cutting that they do in there. Here it says Raised Edge, forged, made in Japan. And like I said, it's the phase 3. So we turn to its side, you can see pretty good concavity. The spokes kind of come up here where it meets the lip, dives right in. Inside of here, it's cut out really open here. So just like what we expect from the TE, and the lug holes are all in here inside of this circle. There's nothing kind of coming out to the edges. And of course with the Saga, you notice that the lip is a little bit different. It has this deep inner lip here first, so it's got like this double edged lip when it's coming around, which also helps to aid in the concavity. Spokes are new, so it kind of comes out, cuts in really nice. Those are the main differences on the Saga, and also just kind of giving you guys a better look of the face that we chose for this special spec wheel. On the side, this is another reason we chose the Saga, is you see there's tire knurling here. So this is what the newer Volks are doing. It brings up to modern times. Of course, with the S2000, a lot of these guys are seeing track times. With this additional tire knurling, you're gonna feel the tire contact patch on the rim. If you're hitting those corners really, really hard, and you're going through a lot of G's, the tire is going to be contacting against here as this inner flange to hold the tire, but it's also going to be communicated to the driver, allowing the tire to slip on this a lot less. So turn around to the back here, and you're going to see here, this is 2021, 17 by 9.5 is made, plus 47, like I said. This one's a bronze one, so I have my labels in here as well. On the back, this is kind of where the money is for the Saga. So you can see really big cut here where the center cap would go, but it cut out a lot of weight. On the back here, lots of room for spacers if you ever decide, I don't know, to go wide body and need to keep this set of wheels. The crazy thing is this really deep cutting in the back of the spokes. So all these recessed cuts, this is really big to the Saga. This is how they got the spokes thicker, beefier, and stronger without adding too much additional weight, are these deep recessed cuts. You can see it's all anodized, so it looks really good here. To show you that it's anodized, see there's these little dots on the edge. This is where they hold the wheel when they're anodizing the wheels. Also going to show you guys a close-up of the matte blue gunmetal one. This is a little bit different than bronze. The bronze one's here, it's got like this dimple effect, but on matte gun blue, it's got this really nice sheen. This part feels totally smooth, and because, you know, it's a blue color, you can kind of see it goes darker in some angles and lighter in some angles, kind of like a velvet almost. So it looks really cool satin. So I just wanted to show you guys how this wheel looks up close and also with the concavity. So if you're looking for a little bit more color, blue, really unique. Not a lot of people are going to have this finish in a TE. So I find that really, really cool because this color is normally reserved for an Ultra or is reserved for like a ZD40, right? And I also wanted to show you guys the matte black. Similar to the matte blue, it is this paint, does not anodize. It's totally flat here, so it doesn't have that dimpling from the anodizing. So it's also got that nice flat sheen on the spokes, but it being, you know, blast black, all matte black, this one looks super business. And the black also really heavily contrasts the letters here. So all this cool cutting for the Volk Racing, Raised Edge, forged, made in Japan. Heavy contrast. So this wheel just looks all business. And then you can see when it's got the concavity and the satin sheen on it, it looks really, really good. So we're watching the real wheel deal, so definitely I have to weigh off the wheels. So we're gonna jump into that right now. Okay, so just for reference, first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this AP2 V2 wheel on. This is from a 2007 S2000. So this is 20 pounds even. And this is the lighter S2000 wheel because this is actually the front one. So this is only 17 by 7.5 wide. So 20 pounds even. So now we're gonna put on my spec. So this one's bronze. So because this one's anodized, hypothetically, this one's the lightest one. 16.8 pounds. That's over 3 pound weight savings. And this wheel is 9.5 inches wide, so 2 inches wider. Now it's time for matte gun blue. So let's see how big difference the finish makes. 17.2 pounds for matte gun blue. So this one's 0.4 pounds heavier. So now the matte black. 17.0 pounds. So a little bit lighter than the matte blue, but all within range. So now we got the details all the way. Next thing we're gonna talk about is fitment. So you're probably wondering how this wheel fits on the S2000. A lot of things with S2000 fitments, the S2000 has been around for many years. People have tried many things. So it's pretty standard what people are doing to make sure they can fit the widest set of wheels they want to do. First thing you got to do, of course, is a fender roll. And on the back, the tab relocation. Most S2000 owners know about that. Sometimes you might need a little bit of pull. So this wheel, I made it so it's flush if you had a little bit of a roll and you had a little bit of a pull and also a fender relocation. So just the standard stuff you're going to do when you're trying to fit aggressive wheels into S2000. It's a car that was introduced in the late 90s. So obviously they weren't doing a lot of wheel fitment things at that time. A lot of techniques today, it's kind of standard that if you're going to go push the envelope of the S2000, you're going to have to do those items. Second thing that you're going to have to do is, of course, coilovers. So I always recommend everyone do coilovers. On my personal car behind me, I have an HKS Hypermax, which seems to be pretty good. A lot of guys doing Olden DFV. Some guys are also doing the Bilsteins. So pretty much any coilover that is available to suit your needs, make sure you're doing that as well. If you're lowering, I always recommend, of course, getting the diff spacer because that'll stop, premature wear on your cars. So if you're gonna be doing coils, you gotta have the diff spacer. The front roll center adjustment, some people are doing that because the steering rack needs to be raised a bit once it's lowered. That I didn't do on my vehicle, but something that I also recommend if you're lowering your S2000. And kind of the last piece of resistance, the really secret sauce for the S2000 front wheel fitment, if you're trying to run a square set like this aggressive set behind me, is an Origin Fab offset bushing. I think some other companies make this offset bushing. And offset bushing is located on the very top of the upper control arm and also a lower control arm, and offsets the center of where those bushings are to kind of bring in the arms a tiny bit. So that sucking in allows you to pull the outside of the wheels in from the fender a little bit to get you a little bit more clearance. I think depending on the camber you're running, you get up to 7 millimeters of clearance, which aids a lot. That kind of changes from like a very flat face wheel to something very concave and gives you a lot of clearance depending on the tire you're running. The really last important part about fitting wheels properly on an S2000 is definitely tire fitment. So a lot of guys are bouncing around tire sizes, but I want you to know that tire sizes don't tell the whole story. Because of this video, I actually had to make another video how to be a master tire fitment specialist. Because if you're going for tire size, you're like, yeah, a 235 fits, 245, 255, you're gonna be going down the wrong path. A 235 from one brand may lead to be wider than a 245 or 255 from another brand. So you gotta make sure you look up the specs of the tire online, get the full width, measured in millimeters, section width, tread width, and make sure that actually clears. Or if you're on the forum, you take a look, see what other people are running, get the make and model of that tire, and that'll tell you the full story if it's gonna fit or not. Because you could get this wheel, which has the proper width offset, but if you mess up the tire choice, you're not gonna clear. So I wanna show you guys a real world flush fitment for this set. So this one here is my MF10. This is a 17x9 plus 42. This TE is a 17x9.5. So 9.5 means that it's got 6 millimeters more inside and outside than this. So you'd expect it to be 6 millimeters out. But because this is a plus 47 and this is a plus 42, that means it moves it back 5 millimeters in. So that means exactly where the MF10 meets here, it's only 1 millimeter difference than what this TE would fit on the S2000. This one, like I said, I'm on HKS coilovers. I have the Origin offset bushings in the front. And here I actually have my spec sheet. So thanks to Jasper AutoWorks for doing alignment on my car all the time. Front camber, it says front left minus 2.8. And on the right, it's also minus 2.8. So I'm running negative 2.8 degrees of camber to get this flush fitment, and I have the fender rolled. So you can see here, this looks really flush. Stock body S2000, looking pretty good. So this is the face you'll be expecting to see once you install this wheel, except you'll have about 12 millimeters more of the wheel inside, so additional width. And this is on a 235 4517 Advent Neova 8008R, which runs fairly wide. So if you're running a different brand, you might be running like a 245 or a 255 on this 9.5. So on the front, this would be about the flushness you would expect. So this is now the rear, and I have the fender tab relocated to the back here. We have some fender roll all the way to the front about here, and it's the exact same size as what I talked about before. So this is exactly where my Saga spec would fit. Right, the fender, you can see there's a little bit more fender clearance in the back here because it's a square setup. So not 17x9.5 plus 47, not really that aggressive for the S2000 in the rear. But if you want to run a square setup because you want to rotate tires, running track days, you want to have even tires front and back, then this fitment fits really good because you're maximizing the front. This is, like I said, 235. The camera I'm running on the back, actually a little bit more than the front. So that's why you look like it's a little bit more clearance. Here I have, it says I have negative 3.1 on the left here, and I have negative 3 degrees of camber on the right. So you're running about negative 3 to get it about here. But like I said, I'm running a 235 on a 9-inch wide wheel. So we'll be running like a 245, 255 on our 9.5-inch Saga spec on the rear. but this just to give you guys a visual exactly where the face meets the fender. And here I'm just offering you guys a few more views, exactly what you'd be seeing on the fender. Okay, so that concludes my in-depth review of the special real wheel deal INVISION Auto Illuminati Spec TE37 Saga S2000 edition. So I hope that video helped you out. Make a decision on wheels. If you have an S2000, you're hunting for this set, and you get in contact with me, you know, through IG, you reach our shop, INVISION Auto. So make sure you guys hit subscribe, comment below, let me know what you think about the wheel. Hope to see this set rolled out. I got them in all 3 colors, custom spec'd out S2000 just for you guys, and I can't wait to put this on your vehicles. And if you're new to S2000, I hope this video helps you out, helps you know what you need to do if you're trying to fit some really wide, aggressive wheels on the S2000, and that you found it informative and it helps you out.